Welcome to Monday morning yoga. As ever, be aware of your body as you move through the postures today, and if anything doesn't feel right today, then modify it if you know a modification that suits you. Rest if you'd rather rest. Be aware as well of furniture, things around you as you practice at home. And we're going to start lying down on our backs. So any comfortable position on your back. Make sure though that your legs are relaxed, they can be bent or straight. Your arms are relaxed in a comfortable position. Close your eyes. And take your attention to your breath. So as you breathe, be aware that when you bring air into your body needs a bit more space. And it's not just the area where your lungs are that expand, it's the whole of your torso. Because your lungs kind of push other things around to let them have the space that they want. So it's not, so the whole of the torso expands as you breathe in and releases back down as you breathe out. You have control about what expands, so you can direct that expansion more into your abdomen or more into your ribs. And the deeper you breathe, the bigger the expansion. Your arms and legs have nothing to do with it. They can just rest heavy on the floor. They're not going to move. Neither your shoulders nor your hips. Just your torso expanding as you breathe in, contracting back as you breathe out. Feel how it's all within that area. And it's not just lifting up, expanding. Maybe it goes out to the side. Maybe you can even feel a bit of pressure down into the floor as you breathe in. But nothing in the arms, nothing in the legs, nothing in the shoulders or the hips. Allow your breath in to be slow. So take as long as you want to breathe in, as deep as you want, but make it comfortable. Don't do anything that makes you feel out of breath or uncomfortable. And as you breathe out, your breath is going to be so soft. Again, it doesn't matter how long the breath out takes. Having the breath so soft will make it take a little bit longer. So a slow breath in, taking as much time as you want. Every breath might be different. And the air that comes out of your nostrils as you breathe out is really gentle. As if there's a piece of tissue paper under your nose, on your top lip, and you're not going to blow it away. It might flutter, but it won't blow away. Staying with that breath, arms by your sides. Ready to move the arms in time with your breath. So go whenever you're ready. As you breathe in, your arms go at the same pace of your slow breath. So they're going to take the whole breath in to reach up towards the ceiling and then over beyond your head. And as you breathe out, that softness that you have in your breath out is kind of reflected in the softness of your fingertips and your hands. No effort as they come back down to the floor. And the next time your arms land by your sides, let them stay there. Have a moment of just feeling the breath in your torso again, so arms and shoulders completely relaxed, legs and hips soft. And then let your breath be back to natural. Bend your knees, bring your knees onto your chest, hands around your knees. Let yourself have a rock side to side. And then bring both feet back down onto the ground. So just pick up your right knee, take your right hand on your right knee. We're still on our backs. Yeah. And just guide your right knee around in a big circle with your hands. So your hip gets a bit of movement. That tip of the thigh bone in your hip socket gets a bit of grounding around. You can take the left knee out to the side if that feels more comfortable. And if you want to make a bigger circle with your knee, then you can take your hand away. Try not to rock side to side, because that stops the movement being in your hip socket. That makes your hips roll, and that makes the movement in your knee. So right hip firm on the ground. You're going to take the circle the other way. And then bring that foot onto the floor. Left knee onto your chest, left hand on your left knee. And then find your circle again with your left knee. Hand on or hand off, whatever you want. Right knee can drop out to the side if it gets in the way. Steady hips. So the left hip doesn't lift up off the floor at any part of the circle. How round is your circle? Other way. And then place your left foot back down on the floor. Take a roll, whichever side suits you, and then make your way up to standing for our salute to the sun. I'm going to start the other way because we're doing something a little different in the salute to the sun today. So I might move around a bit. I'm not quite sure yet. Even standing. So a weight distributed between your left foot and your right foot. And a feeling that if you were cut in half vertically, the whole of your right side is balanced over your right foot, the whole of your left side is balanced over your left foot. And with that balance, lengthen through your spine. So you can feel the natural curves of your spine, but there's no exaggeration in any of the curves. You're lifting up, and the sides of your waist start to feel a bit stretched. Your shoulders are relaxed, your arms are hanging loose, feet still grounded on the floor. So now as you breathe, and breathe a little bit deeper, is it still just your torso, just your body, the chest, the tummy, then the back of the body that moves? As you take deep breaths, your shoulders don't need to rise up. It's just the torso, exactly the same as when you lay on the floor. Shoulders are relaxed, arms are heavy. Then lift your arms to the ceiling. And how straight can you make your arms? We rarely straighten our elbows. Can you straighten them today? It's like you're lifting your elbows away from your shoulders. And without pulling your shoulders up towards your ears, without that hunching feeling, can your upper arms go a little bit closer to your ears? Stretch your elbows again. And then your upper arms a little bit closer to the wall behind. So we've all got different flexibility in our shoulders, but we've all got that point where it feels quite difficult. So your ribs don't stick out forwards, it's just in your shoulders. Lovely. Look up between your fingers, and then let your arms go a little bit wide, and then reach out to the back corners of the ceiling. Chest starts to lift. It's like you're showing your armpits up to the ceiling. Stretch out, and stretch back down into your feet as well. And then tuck in your chin to look forwards, reach up tall. And then take a forward fold. So a bit of bend in your knees, especially the first time. Fingertips on the floor. Relax your upper back, your shoulders, your head and neck. Right leg steps back to a lunge. Sink your hips, lift your chest. Left foot back to down face dog. So use the ground underneath your hands and underneath your feet to hold you steady as you slide forwards to plank. Place your knees on the floor. Smoothly lower your front body all the way down. Roll your shoulders back. Take a lift of your chest. Maybe you can even feel your shoulder blades on your back, like you're tucking them close into your back. Look back down on the floor. Push up to hands and knees. Tuck your toes under. Down face dog. And a walk through your legs. So one leg at a time stretches. And then stretch both legs. Take your weight on your left foot, look between your hands, and then step your right foot through to a lunge. Here we're going to make it a little bit different though. So we're going to place the heel of the back foot, the left foot, down on the floor. So you need to sort of pivot it in a little bit, get it grounded on the floor. Make sure your right knee is still bent. And press really firmly down into your right foot because we're going to lift up. So strong down into the floor, one hand and then the other hand on your knee. Keep your knee bent and then see if you can lift your chest. We're going to come into first warrior. So in first warrior we need to turn the hips to the short edge of the mat. So the front of your left thigh moves towards the front of the mat, but your left heel digs into the floor. Lift your arms. So give them that same stretch as before. Sink in your hips. Keep your arms stretching. That right leg is going to stay exactly where it is, but the whole of the rest of your body is going to turn a little bit to the left. So turn it to the left. You come sideways on, your legs come into warrior two legs. Have a look at that. They might not be exactly straight on with your mat. Take your arms wide out to the side. Find your second warrior. Look out over your right fingers, that should be to your screen. Lovely. Strong through the back leg. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, sink a little bit deeper. So we're going to return to a lunge. The way we're going to do it is to pick up the left heel, the back heel, and then windmill your left arm over the top as you turn your body to the front. Keep your right knee bent, bring both sets of fingertips onto the floor. You're back into your lunge. You're going to step the left foot forwards, forward fold. Well done, we're all there, that's good. So deep knee bend, hips down low, and then lift your spine. So you've got a straight back, you straighten your legs to come all the way back up. Palms together tall, and then slide your hands back down. Stay where you are. I'm just going to turn on the other side so that when we do all that stuff on the other side, I'll be facing you, not facing the wall behind me. So lift your arms. Make yourself as tall as you can. Feel the strength in your arms as they pull a little bit back towards the wall behind. And look up, reach back and wide. Lift the centre of your chest. Look forwards, reach up. And a forward fold. Left leg this time, back to a lunge. Right foot down face dog. So press down into the mat, hands and feet, tummy button to spine, slide forwards to plank. So if you're feeling strong, you leave the knees lifted and lower down in one straight line if possible. Otherwise, knees on the floor first, and then slide yourself gracefully down. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades into your back. Look down at the floor, push up to hands and knees, tuck your toes under, back into down face dog. So another walk through the legs. As you walk through your legs this time, feel what part of your hands are on the floor. Can you make the whole of your palms flat against the floor? Every bit of the palm. No little air gaps. And then as you stretch both legs, still be strong in your hands. Weight on your right foot, look between your hands. You're going to step your left foot through to a lunge. And when you're there, place your right heel in and down onto the floor. So when we came up before, definitely still have to push down through your feet, especially this front foot. We climbed up onto the knee. You're welcome to climb up onto your knee, or you can reach forwards and all the way up. It's quite a bit stronger, so you're welcome to climb up. Once you're up, lift your arms, but if your arms are tired, keep them on your hips. And the right hip, or the top of the right thigh bone, moves a little bit closer to the front end of the mat. The right heel digs into the floor behind. Sink down low. Beautiful. So awareness of your left leg. Keep it bent, keep it out to the side. Everything else moves around it, to the right. Opening your arms as you go, find your second warrior. Lovely. Have a look down. You're not equal with the mat. Make yourself equal with your legs and your feet rather than the mat. Look out to the front towards your screen. Take a breath in. Strong back leg, and as you exhale, sink. Okay, so we're going to come back. We're going to pick up the back heel first. Windmill the right arm over as you turn your body to the front. And then bring both sets of fingertips to the floor. Find your lunge. Nicely done. And then step the right foot forwards, forward fold. Deep bend of both knees, hips down low, spine lifts, and then all the way up. Palms together at the top, high as you can. Slide your palms down. So have a moment and then we'll go again with the breath. We're going to include all that again, so I'm going to go either end, different ends again. So this is our standing postures today. So if you're feeling this is tough on the legs, it is, but this is the tough bit on the legs, so you don't have to save for anything else. So take a breath in to lift your arms. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg back to a lunge. Exhale, down face dog. Inhale, plank. Option to drop your knees. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, down face dog. So straight as you can with your legs, lengthening through the backs of your thighs as much as through your calves. And the whole of your palm making a palm print on the floor. The more you press down into your hands, can you send your hips a little bit closer to the wall behind? Weight on your left foot, look between your hands. And then step your right foot through to a lunge. So take a moment to place your left heel down on the floor, but then find your lunge again, nice and deep in the right knee. Press down firmly through both feet, but especially the front foot. Remember, you can climb up onto your knee if you want to, come up that way, or reach forwards, keep pressing into the floor, come all the way up. So adjust your hips. Tip of the left thigh pulls forwards, left heel digs into the floor. Straight arms. And then your right leg is going to stay exactly where it is. Whole of your body turns to the left. Second warrior. Turn your head over your right hand. So firm down into the floor as much as you can. Take a breath in. And then exhale, sink a little lower. Pick up the left heel, windmill your left arm over. Turn your body to the front. Fingertips on the floor, either side of your right foot. Take a breath in here. As you exhale, step the left foot forwards into your forward fold. Inhale up to standing. Palms together, exhale, palms down. Breath in, and a breath out, and then we're going again. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back to a lunge. Exhale, down face dog. Inhale, plank. Option to drop your knees, exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, down face dog. Tummy button to spine. Hands flat on the floor. Backs of the legs long. Hips going a centimetre closer to the wall behind with that pressure in your palms. So let your arms do the work now, your legs are going to have it in a moment. So weight on your right foot, look between your hands, step your left foot through. Find your lunge and place your right heel down on the floor. So push down into the floor so that you've got the sort of lightness to lift up, either onto your knees or reaching forwards. And once you've lifted up, Send the tip of the right thigh closer to the front of the mat. The right heel down into the floor. Sink the left leg. The left leg isn't going to move. Everything else turns to the right. Second warrior. Turn and look over your left hand. Lovely. A breath in. Breath out to sink your lowest. Use the back leg to hold you steady. Lovely. And then pick up the back heel. Windmill the right arm around to the front. Turn yourself square to the front of the mat. Fingertips on the floor. Breath in here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand all the way up. Palms together at the top, as tall as you can, and then slide your palms down. Breath in. And a breath out. And then just step your feet a little bit apart. Rest your arms by your sides, no need to do anything else. So a movement like that brings a whole load of sort of clamour into your body. Just feel it and feel how your body sorts it out without you having to do anything. Feel it settle. And then feet together again for our balance. So we're going to do a balance where we're taking stuff out to the left side first. So if you want to have a wall or a piece of furniture to hold on to, have it on your right side for the first set. And then you're going to pick up the left knee. Hold your knee on the front or underneath. And take your right arm out to the side. So that's where you can touch if you want to. Don't touch unless you have to. Maybe you can just put like one finger on the wall. As tall as you can be. And shoulders broad and relaxed. Take a breath in. As you exhale, take the knee out to the left. It's like your torso hasn't moved, it's just the leg has moved. So you can hold your leg where it is, stretch your arm out, and lift both arms so they're in a V shape rather than stretched out to the side. And then extend the left leg as well. So every limb as long as it can be. And if you want a bit more challenge for your balance, you're going to tilt over to the right. Take up as much space as you can. Come back upright if you tilted. And then bring your foot onto the floor, rest your arms by your sides. Have a moment, that bit of kind of noise in the body, let it settle down. Shake if you need to, of course. And then pick up the right knee, either in front or underneath. Left arm out to the side. Sorry, yeah, you need to turn around first if you've only got a wall on one side. Let your balance be held by your eye gaze, but also by sort of the uprightness of your posture. It's like a confidence in your tallness. And then take a breath in. As you exhale, right leg out to the right. But your hips don't move, it's just your thigh opening out. You need to engage your core, sort of tummy button to spine, so that you can pick up your right hand. Arms stretched out and then up to a bit of a V shape. Extend your right leg. So all limbs long. And then if you want to, you tilt over to the left. If you tilted, very gently untilt. And then foot to the floor, rest your arms. So shake if you need a shake. Otherwise, a comfortable stance, maybe feet a little bit wider apart. And then turn your head to the right. So you're just turning at the neck, the shoulders don't move. A bit of stretch to the left side of your neck. Back to the centre. And then slowly round to the left. Back to the centre. To the right. Maybe going right into the tighter place here if it feels okay. So your left shoulder doesn't roll forwards, it's just a twist of the neck. And then ease off, come back to the centre. To the left again. To your maximum, and then maybe a little bit of squeeze if it feels okay too. And then unsqueeze, come back to the centre. And take a side stretch before we lie down. So as if you've got a wall behind you and every part of the back of the body is touching the wall, back of the head, back of the shoulders, even the lower back ribs, feel them against your wall as well. And then just slide down to the right. Move slowly so you can still feel the wall. And let your right hand just hang. The more loose your right arm is, the more soft the whole of the right side of your body is. So it's allowed to curve in order to let the left side stretch. Feet are equal on the floor. And then take your left hand onto the back of your head. Let the back of your left arm be against your wall. And then as you breathe in, stretch your elbow right up towards the ceiling and firm down your left foot so the whole left side gets a stretch. And as you exhale, soften the right side. Let it go. So breath in to stretch the left side, elbow up, foot down. Exhale, soften the right. One more breath in. And a breath out. And then a breath in to gently come back up to the centre. And let your arm rest. Still against your wall. And then sliding down to the left. So sometimes the back of the head wants to lift away from the wall. Sometimes it's one of the shoulders, particularly the right. Left arm hangs loose. Without that being loose, you can't get that curve on the left side. So as you relax more and more, the right side allows itself to give, allows itself a bit more length. And we're going to take some more. Right hand on the back of your head. Elbow up to the ceiling, so everything against your wall. And then take a breath in. Stretch taller up to the ceiling. Exhale, soften the left side. Breath in to stretch the right. Exhale to soften the left. One more breath in. Biggest stretch on the right side. Exhale, soften the left again. And a breath in to come back up. And then rest your arm. Wonderful. So have a lie down on your front. Make a pillow with your hands. Rest your forehead on your pillow. Feel how when you're a little out of breath, that soft out breath is a lot more difficult. So let your breath just be natural. Let it come back to a resting state. And lift yourself up into Sphinx pose. So you lift your chest, you place your elbows on the floor under your shoulders, hands palm face down in front of your elbows, and legs stretched out comfortably behind you. So make a bit of length in your neck, so rather than hunching your shoulders up, pull them down, and lengthen your tailbone, lengthen your lower back, and broaden your lower back as well. So the whole width of your hip crease is gently squeezing to the floor to make it feel broad at the back rather than squeezed in tight. Push down into your elbows. Let the crown of your head come a bit closer up towards the ceiling, but without your shoulders rising up. Feel how you're making a bit more distance between your tummy button and your throat. And as you make that action, your shoulder blades start to become apparent on your upper back. Feel like they're squeezing into your upper back. And then maybe sliding down your back. So of course there's no movement really, but you can feel that pulling in, and you can imagine the sliding down. That then broadens the top of your chest. So your torso is getting longer and longer, broader at the top. And then gently lower back down. Find your pillow again. So we're going to take child's pose. If child's pose isn't for you because of your hips or your knees, then stay where you are to rest. Otherwise, hands underneath your shoulders. Push up to hands and knees. Bring your knees in a little bit. And then knees underneath your hips, so just like a few inches apart. Sit your hips back onto your heels. Use your hands to push you back. See if you can feel the backs of your thighs on your heels. And then let yourself rest forward. So you might pop up a bit from your heels when you lean forwards. If your forehead lands on the floor and you're comfy, that's great. Otherwise, use some kind of structure of your hands or blocks to make your forehead feel a bit supported. So child's pose gives us a little bit of stretch at the back. Can you soften your legs and your hips in any way? So if you're in child's pose, then bring your hands under your shoulders, lift yourself up. We're going to bring ourselves to lie on our back. So if you're on your front, just roll over. Come to lie on your back. Stretch your legs out, turn your palms up. Come to that sensation again that your arms and legs are completely relaxed. Your torso is doing the breathing. Your torso is moving with your breath. Nothing else is. Not your shoulders, not your hips. And then bend your knees. Bring your feet in nice and close. Arms by your sides, palm face down. So you want your feet to be hip distance apart, but nice and close in. for Setu Bandha, bridge pose, and your toes slightly turned in. So feel your feet, feel the footprint that they make on the floor, and feel your whole length of your arms. So your upper arms can push down a little bit onto the floor, and they're making like a base around you, because in a moment you're going to lift your hips and your back up off the floor, so your feet and your arms have to take that weight that lifts up. So firm them down, get them ready. Draw your tummy button in towards your spine so that your tailbone just starts to tuck up, your hips start to feel light on the floor. Press down again through your arms and your feet, and then let your hips lift up off the floor. So move slowly, you don't have to get to your full height just yet. Notice that every time you feel you've got far enough, you can press down again, and there's a little bit more lift. And if you want to, you can interlock your hands behind your back. And if you do that, keep your arms straight, squeeze your elbows in close, and then one side at a time, tuck your shoulder under, like you're rotating your upper arms outwards. So you've got a nice structure there to push down into to lift your chest. You've still got your feet to push down into to lift your hips. Just like when we did Sphinx pose, you're growing longer from your throat to your tummy button and broader through your top chest. Press down again. Use the strength in your legs to press down into the floor. Feel how you've got that little bit more lift. One more big press down through your upper arms and through your feet. It's like the fronts of your thighs are lifting to the ceiling, your chest is lifting. And then keep your hips lifted. Take your arms as wide apart as the mat. So your descent is going to be slow and controlled. Firmly but smoothly you pull your hips towards your heels so that your back can roll really smoothly down. You take your time, doesn't matter how long you take. So don't rush, but when you are there, then bring your knees onto your chest and hands on your knees. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, bring your forehead up towards your knees. So those couple of back bending exercises. This is again like child's pose, but inverted. So squeeze your knees in close, relax your hips, relax your shoulders. Then gently roll the back of your head back down onto the floor. Take a rock side to side with your knees, so you get a bit of movement in your lower back. And then place both feet down on the floor. Stretch out your right leg and bring your left knee onto your chest. Right hand on your left knee and left arm out to the side, palm face up. We're going to twist. We're going to keep the right leg completely straight. So it's like the whole body is, the whole length of the body, we're going to roll over onto the right side of and take the left knee with us. But the left arm's going to stay on the floor, of course. So take a breath in. Push the right heel away. As you exhale, guide the left knee over to the right and let yourself roll all the way onto your right side. So right side of your waist, right leg, right little toe finds the floor. Left shoulder though, pulling away from the floor, but not, you're easing it back so that your chest stays as open to the ceiling as it can. How straight can you now make your right leg? Maybe even straighter than that. The left knee is bent, right leg is straight. You're going to bend your right knee and slide it up underneath your left leg to come into a more sort of double bent leg traditional twist. And then stretch both arms out wide. You can even use the right arm a little bit to push down into the floor to send the left shoulder back towards the floor. And then bring both knees onto your chest, roll onto your back. Place your feet on the floor. Stretch the left leg out, stretch it long, push the heel away, right knee onto your chest, left hand on your right knee. Squeeze it up as high as it will comfortably go. And did I say all that wrong? No, I didn't. So left leg stretched out, right knee on your chest, left hand on your right knee, and right arm out to the side. Take a breath in. As you exhale, left leg straight, guide the right knee over to the left. Feel yourself roll the whole length of your body from your heel to your shoulder. And just let the right arm feel heavy and sort of weighted down on the floor. So where it wants to lift up, where the shoulder wants to lift up, feels heavy and doesn't really lift up. How straight is the line on your left side? How straight and long can it be? As your right knee comes as close to the floor as it wants to come, doesn't matter where that is. One more stretch of the left leg. And then bend your left knee, draw it up underneath your right knee. Stretch your left arm out. And then relax your legs. Gently roll onto your back. When you get there, place your feet on the floor. And then right outside ankle onto your left knee. Right toes pull up towards your right knee. And where your right knee would quite like to come a little bit closer to your face, move it the other way. As if there's something, as if the outside of your right thigh is just grazing against something, push it into that something. You're opening your right hip. If you want a bit more stretch, then you pick your head up, look towards your legs, pick up your left foot, thread your hands around the back of your left thigh. So your right hand goes through the middle of that triangle of your legs, left hand around the outside, interlock behind, tuck in your chin and roll your head back down onto the floor. So now there's a whole load more stretch in the right hip. But keep the right foot flexed, keep the right knee easing away from you. Maybe the hands behind the left leg can draw it in a little bit closer. And feel what feels like a good stretch. So not necessarily drawing it towards the centre of your chest, maybe towards your left shoulder more. Is your tailbone peeled away from the floor? Can it sit a bit more heavy on the floor? Release your hands. Let your left foot come back down on the floor, and then uncross your right foot. Right foot down on the floor. left outside ankle on your right knee. So same start again, toes up towards your knee and outside the thigh sort of pushing away. So you can stay there if you want to, or you can come back to that if the next bit gets too tough. Look between your legs, pick up your right foot, hands go behind the right thigh, interlock, and then tuck in your chin as you roll your head back down to the floor. Once you've landed, check that your toes are still pulled up. That keeps your knee from not twisting. And ease your knee away from your face. That's your left knee. Your right thigh you guide towards your right shoulder, just to give a little bit of extra stretch if that feels a good thing to do. So steady breath. And awareness of whether your tailbone is peeling up away from the floor, and if you can, stop that, roll it back down. And release the thigh, right foot on the floor, left foot on the floor. Right knee to your chest, hands around the back of the thigh once again, but then let your leg relax, circle your right ankle, big round circles like your tip of your big toe has got a pen and it's drawing the biggest circle that it can, smooth and slow, and back the other way. Just your ankle, not from your knee, just the foot moving. Lovely, and then let your foot relax. So squeeze your knee in nice and close, but then extend, your knee is really bent, extend your leg. So the thigh doesn't move, but you bring your shin to a more vertical position. Take your knee wide out to the side, so it's over your armpit rather than your chest. And then walk your hands up your shin, your right shin, just as far as they'll go. You might be able to take your hand over the outside of your foot or the inside of your foot, or you might just hold your ankle, you might hold further down. Look up towards the ceiling. Have your foot look like it's standing on the ceiling, so the sole of the foot is looking up to directly up. Let your knee just drop down outside your right rib cage. So imagine if you softened your hips, your kneecap would land on the floor right by your armpit. I'm not expecting it, but just that softening, that sort of imagining that could happen. And if you want to, you can extend your left leg out along the floor. And if you stretch it out, push the heel away, squeeze the back of the thigh towards the floor as your right knee still drops down. We're going to bend the left knee first, so put the foot back on the floor and then release the right leg very gently, help it down onto the floor. Pick up the left, hold around the back of the thigh, squeeze it in. So no effort in your left leg or your hips. Circle your left ankle. Again, smooth and slow. How round can your circle be? And reverse your circle. And then relax. So you take your knee wide out and then you start to stretch the leg a little bit. So opening your knee. I'm not really sure how to describe that, opening your knee, but your thigh doesn't move, so your knee stays low, but it's like your foot is standing on the ceiling And then climb your hands up your left shin. Maybe taking a hold around the foot in any way you can, or holding the ankle, or holding however high up you can reach comfortably. Soften your left hip, imagining that your knee could drop down outside your rib cage towards your armpit. Hold it steady there, and then if you want to, you extend the right leg straight out along the mat. Heel pushes away, back of the thigh squeezing down to the floor, but still that softness in your left hip. There's a temptation to roll onto your left side, but try to keep your hips steady. And then if you stretch your right leg, bend it again. Gently let go of the left foot, bring it back down on the floor. So both knees are bent, both feet are on the floor. You're going to take your knees wide out to the side and your soles of your feet touch each other. So the outside edges of your feet are on the floor, soles of your feet are touching, knees dropped out to the side. Then take your arms wide out to the side. Feel how they're completely rested on the floor. If they can rest in more of a V shape, then take them up just as high as is comfortable, but make sure they feel relaxed. Don't let them be sort of pulling away from the floor. They can be heavy on the floor. Close your eyes. Feel your torso moving again as you breathe. If it's uncomfy on your legs, anytime you want to, stretch your legs. Let your inhale be slow as it wants to be. Doesn't matter how long it takes for you to breathe in. And as you breathe out, your breath is soft. Find that bit of tissue on the underside of your, on your top lip again. So it quivers, but it doesn't blow away. And maybe every breath is different in length. Whatever feels right for that moment on that breath, that's what you take. How slow is your slow breath? How soft is your soft breath out? So then if you want to stretch your legs out, a more traditional Shavasana pose. Maybe bringing your arms back down a little way away from your sides, palm face up. Stay with that breath though. And then reach your arms beyond your head. Bring your legs together. Push your heels away. Pull your toes up towards your face. And then point your toes away. Big stretch as long as you can be. And then release the stretch. Bend your knees, bring your feet onto the mat. And then knees onto your chest. Hands on your knees, one hand on each knee so you can guide your knees around in a big circle. And then a circle the other way. dropping at the centre. Place your feet on the floor. Make sure you know which way is clear. Take a roll that way to your clear side. And then back up to sitting. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me.